right, here we go. Holden Grey Mode, episode 10. All right, rear main seal's all fitted up. I just took it outside, cleaned the block out, some brake cleaner, blew it off. It's not real dirty anyway, it's just a bit grubby from oil on, oil off. And yeah, now it's time to start building it. So let's do it. All right, first things first, we're gonna slip these bearings in. So I've just cleaned all the bearing tunnels. The bearings themselves are nice and clean. No oil behind the bearings because I don't really want them to spin. I want them to be as tight as possible inside the block here. So yeah, let's pop these in. That's good. And this special one. Only one thrust bearing in these grey motors. No wonder they fucking piss weak and always chewing bearings out. Anyway, that's the way it goes. Alright, bit of green slime on the bearing faces. Around the side around there. Save the cam faces. Beautiful. Alright, so the guys over at the that YouTube video, the Cone Racing, said to get a bit of molly and put on their rear main seal here. So I'll do that. I'll follow their advice. They build engines. They know what they're doing. Molly, pretty good stuff. So I will do that. And as I said, put plenty of oil on it too when you go to start it up. So I'll do that. Follow their advice. All right, next thing, bit of oil. Right, especially over that rear main seal there. And yeah, there's the crank here. Hopefully you can see it in the video. Oh, a bit of oil won't hurt on that. There you go. She's spinning nice and free there at the moment. It's beautiful. All right, now I'm going to get the bearing caps on and think about sealing up this area in the rear main seal there. All right, so the first bearing cap on I've got is the main thrust bearing. So I've actually got a dial indicator on the front here. Manual says to push it fully to the front before tightening the cap up. Just going to zero this off and check the preload. So it's zero there. Sorry, not the preload, the end play. I'm going to go like this. 0.12, which is about 5 thou, which is cool. Yeah, 5 thou end play, happy with that. It's meant to be 3 to 8 thou, so that's good. Alright, work my way through now and fit the rest of these main bearings. So the one in the middle is cool, just to nip up. Front and rear ones need a bit of sealing on them because they can leak across that split line. So we'll just do that one up and get the sealant ready. Well, I've thought about my options for sealing around the back underneath the bearing caps, like front and back here. And you know, I've got the ultra grey silicon stag paste, which dries really hard, and I've got the Permatex. And you know, I'm just going to use the Permatex. I've been using this stuff all my life, and I've never had a problem with this stuff. So I'm going to use what I know on this. All right then, just a small amount of this. Really don't think it needs to be anything too substantial because it's a mating face with less, like zero clearance. There's not even a thou clearance in there, so whatever we put on there is just gonna just be perfect, you know. So I might as well just give the front a bit of a coat up too. And yeah, so now I put it on. Sorry, daydream. I just thought I heard a mate come passing his motorbike out the front there, so I was daydreaming. All right, so that's on there nicely. Couple of bolts here. Touch of oil on the threads, as per usual. Anything that's worth taking note of here is just to make sure it's flush with the front face here, because that's where everything else bolts up to. So might even just get my trusty parallel and make sure she's good there in position. Make sure the parallel's good there in position. Beautiful. See that gasket go there is just pushed out a bit, so that's going to be a nice little seal around there, so I'm happy with that. Alright, on with the rear one, so just a bit of oil over where the rear main seal is going to go. So that's nice and lubricated, I love that word. Put some black moly on the seal. Now it's just time for some flange sealant on here, which will be the same deal as the front. That's all it needs to be on there. So basically the sealing face of this rear main seal is always been bothering me, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop a little bit of this aviation glue right up on where it seals, and hopefully when that squeezes together, that's just going to give it a little bit extra gluing power. And so I'll do the same here. Basically from here, I'm just going to go out there. From here we're going to do the same. Okay, and I'm going to just squeeze a little bit of this stuff just onto the mating face in there. Okay, just a little bit onto the mating face. Okay, let's put this on. A bit of green goo here. Let's do this. Now we'll do the one last little check with a bit of alfoil, just to make sure she does pull down evenly. Now, alfoil underneath there, alfoil underneath there, 2 bolts oiled up. Let's do this. Just a little bit. Clamped up that side, clamped up that side. It's clamped up on both sides of the alfoil, so I definitely know it's going to clamp down. So now remove the alfoil and just give her a nip up. All right. And see it squeeze the aviation gasket out all the way around. So now I'll spin it. All right, I'll just go for the spin now. I haven't torqued the mains up to the final torque yet. I just want to make sure she is turning nicely, which it is, same as before. I'm going to just check with the torque wrench here. Do my little test. Back down to 8. Okay. 8 clicks. I think I've done 10 or 12 before. Where is it? 10. There you go, 10. Doesn't click. But there you go. Exactly the same as before, so I know it's going together quite well. Oh, I'm just going to put my dial indicator back on there. And check that end plug in. I've got the dial indicator set up in the front here now, and yeah, it's exactly the same as before, which is good. So basically, it is exactly 5 thou end float. It goes from 0 up to 0.12. Yep, which is 5 thou. Beautiful. End float's good. The time to finish off the main caps here. So the book says to go 55 to 60 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go 60, and I'm going to do it in increments of 3. So up to 40, which will be here. Start from the center and go out. Oh, it's already 40. That's good. Okay, excellent. 40's good. Up to 50. Let's do it. 50. 50. 50. It's already 50 that. Now, there's something to note, that clicked off at 50, so when I did it up with the rigid bar, I must have been a bit tighter than that than I thought. But now I've just done that, I'll just check how it's flowing again. Feels tighter, but let's try this. No, still not clicking at 10, so that's still exactly the same. Alright, so if this now doesn't move to click off at 60, I'm gonna have to investigate why. Okay, something's going on here in this bearing cap. Maybe I didn't oil those threads. I definitely oiled the rest. That's the first one I put on. Let me check. There you have it. I didn't oil these threads on that. That's why it's a different torque. So I'm just going to loosen all these off, re-oil the whole lot again, and start the whole torque sequence again. Righto, so I've done all that, loosened it off, oiled everything up. So now I'm just going to quickly slam over it. 40. It's actually moving now. 40. 40. 40. 40. 40. 40. 40. Dial indicator off the front. Make sure she turns. She does. That's good. 50. 50. Feels tight in that rear main seal, but we know what the measurement is, it's all good. Up to 60, final torque. One, two. Two. All right. 60, double checked on all that. Spin it around one more time. Beautiful. The little torque wrench should still be only on 10. It's not even clicking over at 10 foot-pounds, so that's exactly the same as before. Curiosity. Put it down to 8. Yep, clicks. Beautiful. No worries. Well, that's the bottom end done. Sweet! Well, not the bottom end, the crank anyway. Crank's in. Alright, so the crank's in. Flipped it over. Put a bit of cover on so nothing getting in the bores. Next job is to get the front front plate on, I guess you'd call it. Then the cam. And might as well just get the the timing cover straight on as well and close all that up then. Then I can flip it over and put the rods and pistons in. So gonna get the timing gasket on there, timing cover gasket, front cover gasket and stuff. And basically I just really don't want it to leak around this area here. So I'm just gonna be putting a fair bit on this kind of area, make sure she seals up nicely. And where else don't I want it to leak? Don't really want it to leak anywhere, to be honest, but that's the way it goes. So yeah, I'm just gonna run it from there, so it goes across to there. And then, yeah, it runs around everywhere. So I'm just sticking it on. All right, sticking it on. So anyone who's worked on these before know that these tapered screws here basically fuck up when you take them out. You've got to destroy them a lot of the time. So I went down the bolt shop and got new ones. So these kind of locate the timing cover exactly where they're meant to be. And then a couple others in there. And up in here. And then I'm just going to put a few others in just to locate it into position while I'm doing it. And yeah, tighten her up now. All right, so the front plate's on. I've got all these extra bolts in here which I've got to take off to get the timing cover actually on afterwards, but they're just there to hold it flat, because in my previous episodes I concave that so it pulls right flat down around this here. And that's why I put probably a bit extra aviation cement on everything too, because I really want this front plate to seal, and I reckon I've got a high chance of that happening, so I'm happy with that. All right, just getting the sliding the last bit of the cam in here now, which is always the hardest bit to get. One tooth out. Beautiful. Timing's all matched up there. Don't know if you can see it. Yellow dot, yellow dot. And yellow dots line up tooth for tooth. Beautiful. Put the cam retainer in now and work on the timing cover. Right. Back up the right way. Cam's in. Screws are in for the cam retainers. Just going to take out these screws here that were just holding the plate in place while I did that little job. So I wanted the gasket to sit up where it's meant to sit. So I'll just pop these screws out now and get the gasket and everything ready in the timing cover. A couple of things to note. Yeah, like this retainer goes on there. I think that might be like a bit of an oil splash fucking something. I don't know. This is my little tool I made up for aligning the timing cover seal over central. And I'm in two minds about what sealant to use on this. Actually, I would have thought silicone, but I'm going to use aviation cement on this because essentially it's going to be easy enough to change this one if there's a problem, but I really would like to think there's not going to be an issue, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. And I just changed my mind. I really don't want this bastard to leak, so I'm going to use the ultra grey that I've got here ready to go. So I'll just run this around here right now and we'll get it going. All right, so got the that set up, so see how it looks. Not the best lined up gasket I've ever seen, but should do the job. So this one here now, I'm just going to put a little bit of green goo just on here to make it slide over the little tool I've got here. That won't hurt. This will help it centralise it. I'll fill this up with some glue. All right, so that's that. Hopefully she don't leak. Let's go for it. Get all the screws in, then I'll get back to you. Oh, I've got it on. Must say I've never been a real fan of this ultra grey silicone stuff. Like just squeezes out everywhere. I probably put too much on, but I've never really, at the times that I have used it, I've never really had too much of a leak with it, to be honest. So that's just kind of just firm there for now, not even firm, just tight, almost just a bit past finger tight. So I'll just leave it like that, let it dry, and then once it's dried, I might just be able to give it a bit more of a squeeze. So yeah, look, that's the cam and timing cover done. Pretty happy with that. I reckon that might be it for the night. I'm gonna knock off now. See you next episode. And I just remembered I didn't put any lube on the steel gears, so that I'd rather sacrifice a bit of silicone now and have a clean up than have noisy gears unlubricated on first startup. So yeah, I'm quickly going to pull this timing cover back off and lube it up. So lucky, caught it just in time. It's not too dry as yet, so I will give it a turn over. Get some of this green goo on, quickly close it back up, I think. Hopefully have a little bit of luck doing that. So let's just get into it. Yeah, much better. Okay, that's fucking plenty. So yep, no worries, that's all well lubricated now, so that's good. quickly get this cover back on now. Happy with that. So yeah, probably made a little bit of a mess doing that, but anyways, I'd rather just have a stack of that fucking green stuff in there, because if it doesn't start straight away, could be turning it over for quite a while, you know, to get oil pressure or whatever it is, and metal on metal like those gears there, yeah, I don't really want to risk that. So that'll hopefully just give me the time that I need to work any issues out with it, especially on startup. So yeah, it is what it is now. So all right, we're going to say goodbye for a second time. That's the episode over. Thanks.